Can we have systematic, organized, concrete, say, examples of projects, services that we can serve as examples, and how to use the GAD budget?
Thank you very much. The third question, please.
Thank you very much. I'm called Grace Oburu from Uganda. In Uganda, we've got a lot of good laws about gender, but implementation is a problem because of what my other colleague has just said, of the budget. Now, can it be possible for this convention, which is here today, to pass, to pass on this very message to the UN so that they can pass a sanction if the allocated budget or the proposed budget, which was done by the Beijing conference, is not implemented by various governments for gender activities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have two more people lined up, so be brief and then we'll take a break.
Thank you very much. I have not a question. I want to...
Is the mic working?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I have no question, but I want to say something to add as a comment. We are a delegate from Iranian Red Crescent Society. Just now in our delegate, Mrs. Zafarani is the Director General of Women Affairs Department of IRCS and also the Head of Commission in Women Crisis, an advisor to IRCS President who is here. I want to add something on behalf of you. First of all, we expect to consider the customs as well as the culture of each country in our results due to the kind of natural disasters or man-made disaster or any disasters that we face in the future. And also, I want to say that women just now form more than half of the population of the world. So when we have a disaster, really we have the psychological damages for the women, because women are the responsible of the children in the family. And we should consider how to resolve the psychological problems and damages that are caused for the women during the disasters. Another point is that women and men are biologically different. We think that it's better to use the equivalent of gender justice against the gender equality. Because as you know, women has a special capacity and men has a special capacity due to the biological differences. Another point is that we should consider four processes in disaster and crisis management. First of all, prevention, then second, preparedness, and third, coping with disasters, and after that, for post-disasters, is rehabilitation. In our point of view, prevention is very important. Another point is that we should prepare appropriate training for the women, because women can planning the training for their children and other members of the family, and can transfer their training to the family for how to better cope with the disasters. And we suggest that for a leadership position for women in coping with the disaster, and also due to the geographical regions. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you very much. So just one more question.
I am Victoria Fernandez, MLA from Goa, India. I've got some questions. In Goa, as a legislator, I have raised the issue of natural disaster mitigation in Assembly. But how to sensitize the legislators How does one proceed on this issue when other issues are occupying our time? Second, women are not engaged in any discussion on disaster management. How this situation can be changed and how United Nations and other bodies could help. Since Goa is identified as most vulnerable state in India to face global sea level rise impact, what legislative action could be needed? And could the conference pay special attention to vulnerable areas like Goa or coastal states on the islands? Second, there is not much awareness in the state on impact of climate change. The Legislative Assembly of Goa in India, the Goa government and officers would need guidance from international experts on climate change to plan new policies. The government of Goa wishes to set up a state-level task force on climate change and sea level rise and its impact on Goa. Now in Goa, we have an institution like NIO, which could collaborate with organizers of this conference to plan a specific action program for Goa. That would really be very useful. And thank you so much for the questions in the other sessions I will raise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we need a specific action program from this conference. Thank you. So we'll take a break for 10 minutes and then come back for the next speaker. And then we'll get all these questions and the speakers will answer to your questions and comments. So now we'll take a break.
So now may I request the chair to please take over and preside from here.
Okay, so we had a break and now we'll start the second part of the session. We have two speakers now. We have Ms. Socorro Reyes, who is the Chief of Asia Pacific and Arab States UNIFEM, and she's going to speak on climate change and gender-responsive post-tsunami reconstruction. Let me introduce the speaker. Excuse me, here it is. Many papers are mixed up here, sorry about that. Our speaker, Dr. Socorro Reyes. Her expertise in the field of gender and governance was earned through years of academic experience as professor and chair of the De La Salle University Department of Political Science in Manila, Philippines, and in involvement in civil society organizations. She founded the Center for Legislative Development based in Manila, Philippines, and served as its president and chief executive officer from 1988 to 1999. And CLD was a pioneering NGO which sought to enhance the capacities of non-government organizations, chief of the Asia Pacific and Arab States section of UNIFEM. She served as director of Gender and Governance Program of the Women's Environment and Development Organization from 1999 until 2001, and senior gender advisor of the United Nations Development Program in Pakistan from 2001 until 2004. Let's welcome Dr. Socorro Reyes.